Welcome back, everybody, to the Ting Warcraft Invitational. Once again, I'm ToD, joined by Neo. It's a pleasure to finally be casting with you, and what a set of matches here we're going to be casting as well. Lin against Th000 doesn't really get any better than this, does it?
Indeed, and I'm really surprised by TH's performance so far. I mean, we saw how Lin destroyed Infi, the former world champion. Of course, Infi is the most successful human player now in terms of won prize money.
Yeah.
So it was a 3-0, and Infi didn't stand a chance, and now we have TH here, who is halfway through already. It is a best of 7. He has 2 maps already. He was definitely prepared for that,
and Lin was not, apparently, because Mountain King made a comeback. He had a few good storm balls, and that was very inspiring, actually, to watch. The micro was very clean. I mean, out of these players, you always expect that, but the storm balls every time onto the Raiders, target firing with every single unit that he had and taking them down. That was pretty cool to see.
On Turtle I think his focus was not that perfect because the Kodo Beast was in there for a long time. But of course, that was due to the position on that map. We are on Amazonia now. Once again, a very tiny map. Tower rushes, definitely possible.
Yeah, we've seen some cool games already here on this map. One of those that I'm not as familiar with as some of the other ones that we have in the pool. Forcing the altar there, actually, so to try and go for some creep a little bit more quickly. I've seen a lot of human players on this map actually go for the expansion creep first, but here I think it's probably going to be the lab here. It would make more sense. Like, it'd definitely be a lot less risky, especially against an orc that rushes across the map with Blade Master every single time.
Indeed, it's a guaranteed level 2, like it was on Ancient Isles before, and of course an item, and you can detect the Blade Master with scan, so that laboratory definitely helpful. Question is, what is Lin going to do against this? Will he run across once again? Will he try to harass, or will he try to pimp his Blade Master? The item drops on this map, not that great for a Blade Master.
Yeah, if we think about it, in the games where Lin sometimes it seemed like he was playing a little bit too hard. Like, I mean, the one game that he had success was Turtle Rock, right? Yeah. And what happened there? He just collected items for the most part. He mixed in a little bit of harassment, but still, he was very focused on trying to get some of these good items. So maybe go back to that. Although, I mean, it always depends on the map, right? In Warcraft, it's all about those maps that tell you pretty much what you can and cannot do. In this case, if he thinks that Th000 is going to be going for some big camps in the start, it could be good to try and go there and disrupt that creeping.
That is so unusual what TH is doing here, going for the shop right away, big Sasquatch. Same thing as on Terrana's stand, where he does not go for the laboratory, not go for the standard, but trying to trick the Blade Master into a different creep spot. Wind of Illusion here, very cool to scout a lot in the early game and maybe distract the Blade Master a bit to get some damage onto those illusions, which will not then land on your equipment, Militia and Archmage, of course. And this is guaranteed level 2 as well.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Blade Master, though, starting to collect some items of his own here, grabbing a lot of healing here as well with this. Good observing, by the way, I have to say. Like, you cast and observe at the same time, you do a pretty good job.
Thank you.
And it's not easy to get those praises for me, because I'm used of the StarCraft observers, which are the absolute best and biggest geniuses in the whole industry.
Oh, a praise from you, man. That's so nice.
It might be the first and last one you'll ever get, so take it as it is.
Hopefully not. Here comes the harass, the Stealing Magpie Blade Master trying to go for that creep. He gets it. The item went to the Archmage already. That is Claws of Attack +6 on an item, of course, that the Blade Master... Oh, he gets the second one as well. So good by Lin again. And can he get that Water Elemental that will be level 2?
This is Lin, of course he can. And he gets it. Level 2 here, gained against this. And even though he's not got like the most items there, those last 20 seconds there where he's got so much experience here from those creeps plus the Water Elemental, very impressive here once again by Lin.
Yeah, and he was struggling so hard to find level 2 on the 2 maps he lost, and that is definitely a jump start for the Orc here. Archmage level 2.5 already as well, only now started the tech though for Lin. It is halfway through.
Not bad at all here. Really making the use of those militia worth it for Th000, but at least, you know, there is some kind of fallback where you need to delay your tech because of this, because he hasn't been mining as much wood. Closing in on level 3, though, we've seen before what can happen when you get a level 3 early on Terrana stands, and we'll see if he goes for something similar. Having Hallucination as well. One of Hallucination here is going to be pretty nice to send those guys around, really spot where Lin is at, not just with his units, but in terms of tech, and then maybe even try and lose the trail of his opponent in trying to secure level 3 a little bit faster.
Both players are going for the boots. For example, Fly, our current world champion and GCS winner, he always skips those boots to get the 250 gold to invest it into ToD's units, whatever. But no, Lin wants that additional movement speed, and I think that is the way to go against a player like TH. Nice answer from the creeps, helping a bit, but he doesn't get the surround. That would have been a major pickup right in the early stages of Tier 2. But no, he keeps his green-skinned unit safe.
There is militia creeping across the map with just the militia on that camp, which is a very common one. You do the same as on Secret Valley, basically. You only send a couple militia, and that's gonna... is it gonna give him level 3, actually? Yeah, I think he should. Oh, no, it doesn't, barely.
3 XP points. And a little connection issues to China here, but we saw a backstab. Archmage is safe with the boots, most likely. Yeah, here comes Dust, so he knows exactly where the Blade Master is, even though if he goes into Windwalk or not. There is level 3 finally. Such a big boost in damage. Level 2 Water Elementals. He finishes this creep and distracts the Blade Master even further, who's not getting to level 3, which would be cool for Windwalk level 2 because the duration is so much longer and you get more information from that. So he would love to have that, but he doesn't have the time to creep himself because, of course, oh, okay, distracts here, sees what's going on, and it's double bestiary. That is really weird.
Yeah, usually when you see double bestiary, like, everybody's fear immediately is mass wyverns, but I don't know, it could be raiders. Yeah. I really don't know what to expect here out of Lin. Even though, okay, well, if you have Lin's micro, right, going for a bunch of wyverns in the stars, and then maybe using speed scroll, target firing casters, and then forcing guard towers. Like, who goes for guard towers in this day and age? Nobody really against Orc. You just get an arcane tower at most, get double arcane sanctum, and then from there. Yeah. Actually, no. Maybe even thinks he's going to be a tower. He's so convinced he's going to be a tower that he's like. It could be useless to try and reach some kind of walkers with some training and stuff. So maybe just get double wyvern and cancel these towers as they go up. Because with 2 wyverns, I mean, even if you have 8 peasants repairing, those towers are going to die super fast if there's the support of heroes attacking them. Yeah,
he tried it before with 1 wyvern. That really didn't work. He forced the defense upgrade now on top of the guard tower. So a lot of resources being put into this wyvern defense. Is once again the Fire Lord. TH surprising for the 2nd or 3rd time in this series. And what is Lin's answer now?
He's probably going to be pretty unhappy to see 2 wyverns go straight to his base. What does he have at home?
He has 1 guard tower. That's it.
It's crazy that he actually gets a guard tower. I can't believe this. Like, it's going to be... It could be quite alright for him. But if he goes straight to work on these bursts, the wyverns fly back though. Okay, that's going to be much harder for him to do any sort of towers. Lin is doing such a good job of buying time, by the way.
The 3rd wyvern.
Did he show Hex already?
Not really. I don't think so. First guard tower is being upgraded. Of course, there's a lot of anti-air with water elementals and also with the lava spawns.
Oh, he could get a lot of units here from up there, pull back every single time those wyverns are in danger. That's gonna, look at how fast the tower is going to be cancelled there. And again, now Hex is revealed. He's going to go straight for this hero. There is no way this is going to get out here with the speed scroll. Oh, and as I say that, the Shadow Hunter gets surrounded. That's going to be a snipe. Maybe he can Hex one last time before. Going straight for these summons there. Okay. What did he Hex?
He lets
He X'd something down there. He X'd the Archmage one last time.
This is so weird. He doesn't have Raiders. He doesn't have Ensnares. There's no Spirit Link, what usually makes the Orc so strong. There's no Catapult. There is nothing for Lin.
Oh, another burrow dies.
Exactly, he is not supply stuck though, he prepared for that, but the Footman with Defend, of course, can stay in this peon line forever. Wow.
He should get like the spiked building thing. Against this many Footmen. Archmage chasing on one of those wyverns that's very low on hit points, another one of those died. So even though no tower has gone up yet, it looks like as long as TH might be able to get some of those soon here, and with this many elementals and Footman, it's going to be very hard to prevent.
Where's the Shadow Hunter though? He doesn't buy him back.
Yeah, that's really weird. Actually, he's supply blocked. No, he's not.
No, he's not. He has a lot of burrows here. And the 2... Oh,
Lin is falling apart,
yeah, totally. TH is dominating this almost level 4. Fire Lord is back with lava spawns. More anti-air, so the Wyverns can't do anything. They can't attack the footmen because
He's
of
very
defense.
hot. Like, he can't fight his footmen at all. He would have to put the Grunt and Blade Master on them, but then Archmage, Firelord, the Summons, they would be attacking the Blade Master as well and doing a lot of damage to it.
Finally, the Shadowhunter comes back. I think he forgot about that. Big mistake again by Lin. And it takes, of course, some time here. Now he is supply stuck. He killed so many burrows. And the Wyverns just don't do the trick.
Yeah, I mean, they're cancelling towers going up, but everything else is pretty much dying. Closing in on level 2, though. He's going to gain that here in a second after sniping that summon. And that's going to be a big deal here, to have some heals available. He can buy some mana potion. I think Lin's kind of broke, though. He needs to stop mining again. He finally needs to kill this footman. The Blade Master is actually really low.
Okay, he gets the heal wave now. 2 Wyverns in the air, but that's
Oh, these footmen.
Yeah, they're so good.
They frustrate me and I play human.
With Defend, this is such a great update. Okay, now he can heal up at least to a degree, but the towers are going forward.
He already has Ensnare actually and 1 Raider available here, those lanes, so he could go for these heroes here and snipe them super fast with these many units. Having Hex plus Ensnare usually is the wombo combo that you need to deal with these heroes of human super well.
Right, the towers are coming up once again. The shop right in the face of Lin. And the Shadowhunter doesn't really do progress here, right? He's not getting closer to level 3. He's not mining. With 1 peon he is mining. And he is supply stuck, and the Blade Master, man, he goes down. Level up for the Firelord. What can Lin do now? His main damage output is gone. The Wyverns are completely falling apart. 3-1 for TH.
Wow. These footmen, they just didn't die. Why doesn't he go like this with a towers? My footmen all die and then I lose my heroes and it's over. But somehow TH0-0 with the perfect positioning and prioritizing, just pulling back every single time he needed to. Having boots on the Archmage also helped a lot, otherwise he would have lost that much earlier, I guess. Gets the surround on the money surround of the Shadowhunter, by the way, that played a big role. That's supposed to stay alive, be attacking, be regenerating on mana. Lin kind of took forever to restart that, so really losing momentum here this morning is Lin. And I mean, it was TH's map pick, to be honest, but Lin lost on his just before that, and now we're going to be headed to Last Refuge.
What do you think about the Wyvern pick? I mean, yeah, it's cool to send 1 into the opponent's base to distract, but he just continued to build Wyverns, and there was so much anti-air with all the summons. I don't really agree with that choice of Lin for the first time in a long while.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the thought process was. I think maybe he just wanted to get a sure cancel on these towers, but everything else went south, so then eventually they were going to go up anyway.
Yeah, you can't really hold it, especially against double summons, without walkers, without the spell, without Spirit Link. That was really weird. But alright.
Alright, Last Refuge, though, coming up here between these two, so...
That's a great Blade Master map. There we could see a plus 30.
Well, what isn't?
Well, Amazon.
As long as you creep and get items.
Yeah, but there are a lot of good items, a few claw spots, also very cool for the Shadowhunter. I can see Lin coming back here on this very map.
Okay, we'll see. I'm curious what creep route TH is going to do. Is it time for the straight to expansion?
Oh, could be.
Because usually he went on its... He went for it on Echo Isle and another map, I don't remember which one, but he went for it on the maps where it's easier to keep the... Like on this Last Refuge, the expansion creeps are the same as on Echo Isle, so I think that's kind of the criteria of selection, even though on Echo Isle the opponent won't get there by the time you're finished, and here maybe he could, or get there just after you finished and then start slaying peasants, which was what happened actually against Fly, but it didn't seem to matter because TH, he got an expansion up eventually, then he went for a lot of units, attacked, and finished it, really. That was quite masterful play here out of him.
Another similarity to Echo Isles, there is mercenary camp, right? Between the main base and
much
the
tougher, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish he was the Echo Isle camp on every map here, because that rock golem just keeps on being super annoying, obviously.
Okay, we might have a join bug here. But we have to wait for a little. Maybe we have to rehost or try to get the player in one more time.
Thanks to you guys for joining us, by the way, and now to our sponsors once again. TIG, Matcherino and ToD, all putting some money towards the prize pool. Everybody else that donated as well. You guys supported the tournament too. Like, yeah, I know you did your own thing too to ask for some donations. So thanks to Back to Warcraft. Here's my appreciation T-shirts that I'm wearing.
Which you got for free, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean. And then I let you cast the tournament on your channel.
Yeah, that's true. And we appreciated that, of course. So we have the join bug. We have to set it up again, but that will take like 1 minute or so.
What is going on with Blade Masters dying, man? I thought Blade Masters couldn't die, and that human was having a really hard time against Orc, but apparently not Th000. To me, going into today's games, I really thought that... I thought it could be close, but I thought that Lin definitely would win against TH, and 120 definitely would win against Live. But now, like, anything's possible. Like,
these players
Live's gonna 4-0 120.
No, I don't expect that. But yeah, these players had a week to prepare, and you see what a difference this can make. Especially for TH. He's definitely a different player than Infi, going for more weird stuff that might throw Lin off you, and so far it works perfectly.
Yeah, Lin tried to prepare for what he thought was going to come, and at times he was wrong.
Yeah.
That game on Ancient Isle really comes to mind, so we'll see if he continues that route here. Going for double Bestiary Wyvern, really, it's a big risk. Yeah. And in this case, when you have level 3... or level 2 elementals with a level 3 Archmage in your base, when you've got Firelord and Lava Spawn, which is again like one of the... If these guys can attack Wyverns, usually Wyverns don't last very long there. Yeah. They're also called Flying Tombs of Experience by Rotterdam, so you need to be very careful when you're going to go for that tech and maybe hope that the opponent's going to be attacking into you. I think the guard tower across the map is actually a pretty big deal. Yeah. If that was an Arcane tower, you would force so much Reaper, maybe even eventually take it down too, but the fact that it was a guard tower, you already have the perfect defense back at home from TH, so you don't have to worry about those Wyverns at all. He was probably pretty happy to see them. Like I said, the only risk was to lose his zeros, and he did a pretty good job of pulling them back, so he was good.
He scouted it before with that one illusion, so the Wand of Illusion really did a good job here for TH, who is spawning in the upper right of a Last Refuge, of course, one of the most successful human players of all time. WCG winner of 2013, also the winner of the WEM in 2010. So he's been around for quite some time, a former mouse sports player, back when Warcraft Clan still existed. Lin, of course, longtime player for SK Gaming, spawning in the bottom left as an Orc. And yeah, I'm really, really curious. This is Lin's map choice now again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this should be the case. So as I mentioned before, definitely a big potential to stack up the Blade Master. Tons of claw spots here. You can find Boots of Kel'Thuzad, but also for the second hero, Shadowhunter, definitely great items to find. Here's the Mana Stone, here could be the Row of the Magi, etc., etc. Big mana potions here.
That item you just mentioned, for the longest time, I thought was named Boot of Quel'Thaquas. I don't know why. Maybe it was like the most irrelevant item for me, like I would always sell it. You know, I don't have exactly agility heroes that I need to worry about. It's all about intelligence or strength. I guess when you play human, for the longest time I thought it was named like this, and then recently I was playing 2v2s with Grubby and he was like, it's Quel'Thalas. You realize that? So I guess I learned a decade after stopping to play the game how to properly say one of the items.
Never too old to learn stuff in Warcraft. A lot of people keep the Boots of Kel'Thuzad now for the armor boost.
You almost said Quel'Thaquas.
Yeah, of course, I'm adapting, but no, I have to get this out of my head now. As fast as possible. Blade Master first again, Archmage first again. Question is expansion or not?
Could be. Where is he headed?
Once again, there's no barracks build.
Yeah. So the same build as we saw earlier on Ancient Isle, which this time around, like you kind of have to see this, I guess, to react to it better, even though like the solution might not be that different. Picks up a ring here, which is definitely the worst item you can get. And on the other side, we've got a Circlet, which is definitely one of the best items you can get.
Indeed, a little boost for basically everything. More HP, more armor, more damage, more mana. That's what you want. And the Archmage now, did we see a Water Elemental? Or is this the Blizzard build now? Because I'm not too sure.
I think he made an Elemental, right?
Okay.
That would have been like 2 Blizzard, like way too much.
He used it. So very important spots here. The High Priest at this camp gives you Sentry Wards, Reju Potions, stuff like that. So it's really, really nice to take it out from your opponent's side of the map, but no player is going for that so far. Just a little scouting and distraction. Tier 2 tech by Lin as well. 1 burrow tech, but of course TH is faster. And following up with the lumber mill again.
Super interesting build here. I feel like if I tried that, I would just get straight up destroyed because I don't get it. But
well, the good thing is that if the orcs go for the one burrow tech, then they have just one grunt. And what can you do with one grunt? Not too much. So it can't really get punished.
Yeah, I guess you have to perfect wall your base though for the most part. Like most orcs wouldn't dare really to step in there. But then the one time you're not careful, maybe they do it anyway. So second circlet now available, and he's going to go for that still on the natural base of TH, who's running around the map. I don't know if he's looking to try and fight the Blade Master or creep himself, but if he gets on that natural too late and sees that this has been stolen, he's not going to be too happy, especially if a good item is picked up.
Another circlet, man.
Okay, well, circlet fest.
Lord of the Rings, or, okay, Lord of the Circlets, whatever. Murloc creep, interesting. That's not too rewarding. He gets a Mantle of Intelligence, though, which is +3 damage and more mana, of course.
On this map, actually, a lot of orcs, they go for the green spots that drop like Sentry Ward and stuff. Yeah, this one here on the left. It's a very good one to go for, but I don't think... Well, it seems like Lin has no interest with usable items. He wants to get some more power here on his Blade Master.
Was he going for the focus creep here? Yes, he does. And this could be one of the big consumables here. Big Invo Potion, big Heal Potion, and big Mana Potion. And everything is great here.
Because he has so many circlets as well, he's going to be able to get it very comfortably here.
He could maybe go for the Tome. Oh, big Mana Potion for the Shadow Hunter. This is superb. And on this side we have Wand of Illusion. That helped in
one of those.
In game 4. Will it help here in game 5 again? Let's not forget, this is match points for the Chinese. If he wins this one, he wins the series and advances to the finals. We have again a Mountain King.
The shop snipe. Is he gonna get this one? It's so close to finishing. Just one more hit on the peasant, and he's gonna finish it. But still have very low hit points.
Yeah.
Get one more peasant for it. Not bad at all. I mean, closing in on that level 3. And keep in mind, that's a Blade Master that's already got a lot of mana available there. So if he gets that level 3 sometime soon, he can just keep on following around the human player, try and steal some of the important creeps. Maybe even go for a creep jack, like if you can know exactly where the opponent's going. Yeah,
with Ensnare definitely possible. The big creep spots are still available here at the Merc camp for Boots of Kel'Thuzad, and of course the red spots for maybe a clause +12. That would be nice for him, obviously. The Mountain King is back on the battlefield, and Tome of Experience maybe. He goes for the gamble. Of course, he's super disappointed now that the big Ogre Magi is already gone, and Lin creeping his own shop now and gets the second consumable. Well done.
Yeah, he hasn't given the mana pot yet to Shadowhunter, but like, I mean, on level 1 anyway, it's not that important. Definitely gonna want to look to do that later. He's gonna get creep jacked here in a second, but well, actually he has no room. Maybe use the speed scroll. Yes, use speed scroll, pick it up, get out of there. Hex the MK. Perfect execution here, not to lose anything. Even though technically, if he just disengaged a little bit, maybe could have gone for the fight, but you don't really know where the Sorcresses are here behind this. If there are two standing just right behind this army and you speed scroll into it, that's something that you're going to regret very quickly. So just choosing to disengage is a safe choice. Keep in mind, he has a greater mana potion here, those Lin. If he gets Shadowhunter level 3, he's going to be pretty happy. He has a greater healing as well. Like, this is insane.
That's gonna be so much heal, and this time he's not going for Wyvern, he's going for the usual Raider Walker combo as well as the War Mill. He's getting ready for a tower push once again, or for a push that is supported with towers. Close to level 3 Archmage. This is the time of the game now where both players set back a bit, try to creep up their second hero to level 3. Once again, no Tome of Experience, but level 2 MK. I think it's gonna be Bash. Would love to see Clap, though, in combination with Blizzard.
He's the opposite, man. He's Water Elemental and Bash.
Yeah, indeed.
Stormbolt.
Devotion Aura, so definitely not the item that he was looking for. This is shop gold.
Gonna sell that immediately for more gold and more units being made. That's gonna be an easy steal here, I think, if he's careful, and most likely looking to try and creepjack that position here, not to let the Mountain King get to level 3 safely. Dust is used, but I mean, he can Stormbolt once to prevent that steal.
I like what TH is doing here, though. This is usually the spot where you creep when you lost the fight, so he denies that opportunity. Here's the Stormbolt, Focus Fire, Anchor for Incarnation.
Oh, and the Archmage picks it up like a ninja, just running there with the horse. That was sick. I thought it was going to be for the Orc for sure.
Very, very risky walking in there against the Raider with Ensnare.
How far from level 3 is he on the Shadow? Kind of far. Still, maybe like 2 bigger camps.
Yeah.
ToD now being made.
He has a Berserker again.
I think it's too early to start pulling pins, by the way. Like, there is way too little... What? He has way too little woods, but I guess he's going to keep the ones that he has remaining back at home.
Yeah, he has 4 lumber workers, which is
Not
okay, I
much.
think, in that part of the game. Blade Master, did he steal it? He stole the circlet for
circlet.
sure.
What is going on here? He's just got so many circlets and a greater healing as well.
He's so tanky, 850 HP already, and 8.4 armor points.
I think Lin's ready to fight. Yeah. Shadow Hunter level 2 or 3, doesn't matter. Like, he's got the mana potion. Let's see. No, he's going around. He might just get the lab in front of the human base. He's like, you stole my lab, I steal yours. But he might get creepjack on that, unless... I think TH wants to go for the... No? Okay, I thought he was going to go for the mercenary camp.
Blade Master is still around, scouting this. This could be a very dangerous creep spot.
Windwalk about to expire.
Yeah, he has 2 more. Can he get a backstep here on killing something? Of course, he wants that big rock golem. Okay, now he's out of Windwalk. No backstep damage. Reveal being used on everything. In the meantime, he is creeping himself. This could be a Mana Stone again. Another Arc of Reincarnation. And here we go. Flute of Accuracy, the dream for all humans.
Yeah, this is pretty good when you have this many ranged units here. Other than those 3 footmans. That's pretty much all he's got. Buys the Troll Berserker as well, pretty much instantly. 57 supply here, by the way, for TH against Lin, only on 50, and not yet with the capability to break that because he doesn't have an extra burrow. So if he fights now, even though he's got Shadow level 3 here, this might not be the best of fights. We'll see. He seems very eager. Close to the human base, keep in mind, so Militia is going to be available.
He has a shop in the back though, so maybe a heal scroll can help. Focus fire on the Blade Master immediately. He gets down to 50% HP. Where's the next heal wave? He found level 3 at the lab spot, by the way. The ToD did eat a breaker, so good job with that. The Footmen are tanking a lot of damage, of course. You want to rotate them out. The Runs are doing a good job against the breakers, so I think the this fight started pretty good for Lin.
Yeah, another Stormbolt going to be used towards this Raider. TH trying to win this fight somehow, some way. But even though that Blade Master is very tanky here, those human units, in particular, if you can target some of these Spirit Walkers there, they're going to take them down super fast. And Lin reacts a little bit slowly here to this, and this was a bad fight, like, I think, to take.
Definitely agreed. He lost a lot of units. Of course, when Spirit Link works, the damage is spread across all units. That is great in the early game, in the early part of the fight, but it falls off so hard.
I think Lin didn't seize up the army size of TH. He probably thought he was on 50 supply, so he was like, well, if you're on 50 and I'm on 50 and I've got level 3 Shadow Hunter with a greater mana pots, I'm probably gonna straight up destroy you. So he went for it. And now Blade Master looking to try and steal this big one. Did he get the item? No.
Bit of cunning would have been good for the Blade Master who steals this one. He has level 4 now, critical strike level 2 available. But yeah, you mentioned it, TH broke upkeep a lot earlier than Lin, and once again he's one step ahead of his opponent. This is, I think, across all 3 maps that TH has won, this was the case, and it's here again.
And he's kind of broke here, is Lin, by the way. He wasn't even at 50 here up until he started the unit just now. On the other side, we've got a human player who's going to have quite a bit more supply, I think, when he starts making more units. 5 circlets, that's so insane to have, by the way. What?
On this side as well, so it is a little more damage boost, but not really the dream. No aura, no claws plus 12. He won't be too happy with this. I think to win a fight, Lin definitely needs a heal scroll, and he buys one.
He should sell Ankh here, I think. It sells for a lot, 400, I think it is, right?
I'm not too sure. I think it's a bit less. 225 or something, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it sounds good that you get your hero back, but most of the time he's in such a bad position that he gets just sniped the second time. So I agree with selling this. 53 food, 48. He's breaking upkeep again, so in economy, Lin is ahead. His workers gather 10 gold, or the of TH gather 7.
Keep in mind those camps, the orange camps, are often forgot about in the bottom right-hand side corner and top left, but usually they're the last one, the absolute last camps that you go into, especially if you... Like, if there is a chance that the opponent's going to creepjack, you should be very careful, because you're going to be stuck in there. You need to have a TP, but you don't really want to TP out of that location. Sentry wall's now going to be picked up. And a good engagement from behind here by TH0. He's going to force a speed scroll. He's got Stormbolt, though.
Oh boy, the Shadow Hunter is completely out of position. What's he doing over there? Gets the Sentry, wants to maybe going up, but he loses the Kodo Beast right away. Blade Master with 180 critical strike, but that's not doing too much. I think the position is great for TH.
Yeah.
The blocker line is perfect against the Raiders. They can't attack the casters. This is what you want as a human player, and maybe TH, this is his fight into the finals already.
Yeah, the split with the Water Elementals was great here. He sent one of those at the bottom to force these enchants in multiple locations not to be able to be used against both of these. The Blade Master is going to take a lot of damage. Keep in mind he's got an Ank, but if he's going to drop before the invul is even used, and Lin is down to his last few units here, I think this might be, like you said, the grand finals being made by TH in a second. If he's able to win that fight.
Nice bold dodge with the invo potion, but he has no mana. He is surrounded. This is exactly what I mentioned before. The arc looks great on paper, but the position is horrible. Stormbolt again. Is this the hammer to the finals? Not the key, but the hammer. Oh, he heal wave through the forest. Well done by Lin, but this will only delay his misery. Blade Master down. Big damage output down. The Shadow Hunter, I don't think he can hold this alone. It's 56 versus 46, and the big surprise in the semi-final seems to be real. Lin, the Juggernaut, the dominator of Warcraft 3 in 2016 is out! 4-1, what a performance by TH. I am so impressed. I never expected this.
Yeah, Lin winning the first map as well. I think everybody probably had the same feeling. They were like, we were like, well, I guess this makes sense, right? Lin is probably going to win and do well. But no, TH completely turns it around. He uses some pretty cool builds without barracks, going for fast tech, and then into Mountain King creeping. And I think Lin just didn't adapt well enough to counter this style, so he goes out 1-4. To Th000, who's going to be our first finalists and all Chinese grand finals here.
Exactly, and I'm not too sure, but TH wasn't even a first seed, right? Before this tournament, he was still in an okay shape, but not really where he belongs. But this performance here today shows me that he is definitely a guy to count on in the World Championships later in December this year.
It was very hard to look at Lin's army and see it not being really that big, but then at the same time you look at the items on the Blade Master, you're like, okay, he might be able to do well. I really think that if he has sold the Ank, kept a lot of circlets on his Blade Master and even the Hood of Cunning, and then just made more units from the money they made from the Ank and stuff, he might have been able to keep up, but he kept on trying to fight with 50 against quite a bit more army supply, and just the prioritization, even getting a second Kodo, I don't particularly think I agree with this. I think one is enough for the aura and being able to hit one breaker. Like getting a second one just doesn't seem that great. So maybe just like TH overall was, I think, better, got more camps that were like really relevant. Even though in the start of that game it didn't look so, that was really the big fight that Lin took towards the lab at the top right-hand side, I think, in that last game that put him behind against a human that just had more. And it's hard to tell if TH had planned for that. Maybe he did, because like he's played so much against Orc. He's like, well, every time they have level 3 Shadow Hunter, they just keep on attacking me. Sure, let me make mass units and wait for this attack to come, and I'm going to crush it if it's near my base, and that's what happens.
Definitely the perfect time, and I do not agree with your Kodo Beast opinion, because I think, especially against the Mountain King, you get sniped very, very early on in the fight. And
you
then
mean one? One gets sniped?
One gets sniped because you want to eat, and then it gets sniped, and then you lack the aura. So to be safe, you get the second one. I understand that.
Then why don't you get 3? So they did the first 2.
Well, that might be a little overcommitment.
It just never ends, does it?
True that. But yeah, in general, the big mistake here, not going over 50, tried to fight with 50 versus 60, broke his neck in the end, and TH deservedly in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to head to a break, and then when we come back, it's a Night Elf versus Undead. Life will take on 120 in our second semi-finals. That's going to be another best of 7 here in the Ting Warcraft Invitational. See you guys in a minute.
There are a few options if you're looking for a phone to use with Ting.